today we'll work on some shoulder stuff. Okay, guys? So you can start off on your backs. Um, you can come into a constructive resting pose just because it's a really nice way to be aware yet relaxed. So, constructive resting pose means that your knees are in line with your hips and your feet. So, we don't let the knees fall in against each other. We just kind of keep that line. If you stay here longer, it can be a very nice release for your psoas. But then you need some props, so you can bring a belt and block and stuff for your knees. But for now, you can just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths. Let the heaviness pool around your bones. I'll just drop the music a little bit. It seems very loud. We'll move from the bones out into a shaken dust container, which is the rivering. So the bones, they're originally made from fluids. That's where they emerge from. That's where they're built from. So also in the Chinese medicine, that's the element they're associated to. But now they are here for your unique alignment, and that's what we'll seek out today. But from there to move into the freedom of what we call the rivering sensation, because we are still water beings. There's so much liquids inside of us still. There's still this primordial ocean that we carry with us. So it is the practice of coming from the heaviness into that rivering that is so in your nature that all you have to do is to tap into it. So take another 3 breaths to let the heaviness pool around your hips, your spine, your feet. Let them bring you into your location, those bones, into your own weight. Maybe you can use the feet to push and pull you into place and to bring a small movement into that pooling. So just to the push into the feet to move you up the vertical axis and the pull to move you down the vertical axis. That moves your entire body along the heaviness of your spine. Good. And from there, you can bring your arms over the head to give yourself a nice long stretch. Keep the feet where they are. Bring the hands over to the right side to open the left body, keeping the feet grounded. So just the upper body arching, hands reach to the right edge of the mat. Maybe your right hand grabs the left wrist to pull you even longer, staying heavy and pulling around your spine, the back of your head, the occiput, but drawing space between the ribs. Change sides, bring the arm over to the left, draw into your right arm, pull it almost out of a shoulder socket. But the right sit bone or the right hip bone is really extra heavy. Now your breath brings this rivering sensation also and already into stillness here. And then coming into the middle. And we'll just bring the knees into the chest, rock ourselves into a seat slowly, mindfully, no rush to get there. You can take 3 of those, 4 of those rocks. Come cross-legged and bring the hands on the knees. And we're just going to find the speed to do some undulations seated here. So you can coil, look into the navel, inhale to look forward, really pull yourself forward with the hands on the knees so that your spine starts to river from the pulling and heaviness from your hips. Inhale forward, exhale to coil and curl, look in. So the hands on the knees can really guide this. Let the breath connect you more to that which is more intrinsically you, that movement that is so deeply in our DNA. Here in Kuwait, I am a bit locked up in this apartment because it's so hot. And I can feel my body going crazy because I cannot move. So I'm handstanding around the apartment. I'm cartwheeling around the whole way. So it's so intrinsically in us, that movement. You can start to move from these undulations into circles now. So bringing the chest out to the left and forward, and then out to the right and back. So the smoothness of a river, an information flow trying to get coherence, get some expression, and find that maximum of movement, change circles, change directions. Good. Yeah, use the hands here to make the circles bigger while the hips stay super heavy, nesting. Yes. And smoothen the circle, so let them get smaller so that you start to come back into the center. And then you can bring the arms out and draw little circles here. So arms are long, the circles come from the shoulders. First backward, maybe small, maybe big. That's yogi's choice. So you can continue the push of movement that comes from the bones outward because they're mainly out of the water. It's where the fluidity comes from. Change the direction. Very nice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring the left arm underneath the right just for one lift, one exhale to bring elbows in. Inhale, come out, open the arms, change the right one underneath the left. Palms together, lower arms push towards each other, lift. Exhale, knee or elbows in. Inhale, lift. Good. Exhale, release. And walk the hands forward into an all fours. Take a moment to just build yourself into this shape. So taking that heaviness, the pulling around the bones, where your bones make contact with the earth with you, to ground, to center, to arrive. And the pulling or the rivering that comes from those bones, the flowing of information, of movement out. So whatever comes for you to express, moving, undulating, circling. Spread the fingers really wide and press the fingertips of your hands into the mat until they almost turn white, which is important when we work, especially on shoulders, but also always during yoga. It's called the Hasta Bandha. And give your arms, a little rotation forward. So the eye of the elbow here points forward. That itself gives a lift out of the heaviness. And coming to stillness here. Draw the lower ribs in. The whole transversus abdominis is that big round muscle that wraps around your entire midriff. It kind of hugs you in and gives you a lift. Push the top of the feet on the mat and we'll lift the knees away from the floor on the top of the feet. Now you observe if your knees are further back than your hips, it gets harder because your shoulders have to do more work. If your knees are right underneath your hips, the lift is more effortless. Good. 3. Take those fingertips in 2 and 1. Good. Bring the knees down. Bring the forearms down and bring the palm of your hands together. You can keep the arms apart. I find it harder, that external rotation of the shoulders, but make sure that you are on the edge of your little skin fat combination on your arms so that when you slide, you don't slide further. Tuck the toes and we'll lift the knees off again on your forearms. See that you create a space between the shoulder blades, so lift the space out there, pushing your chest through the shoulders towards the sky. Trust your lower arms, your palms to pull and take the weight. Feel into the weight. We often fight against gravity. It's called propping. And lengthen the legs out one after the other to come into a forearm plank here. Good. Draw the transverses in, hugging in your interior, protecting it. And then from here, we'll come on to the hands. One hand down, second hand down into the plank pose. Bring your right arm high, left arm takes the weight. Shift onto the edges of the feet. Left edge, outside edge of the left foot for side plank. Standard side plank, how you know it. Right hand down, left arm high. Grip the fingertips. Good. And left hand back down. Push the hips up for a downward facing dog. And just breathe into those last few beats of the music arriving in your downward dog. You can keep it dynamic if you need to paddle it out. If you're in 45 to 50 degrees, your body is naturally super flexible. So don't mind me if my heels are on the floor at 6 a.m. That's just the heat. It's true though, in warm countries I can do poses I can't do in others. So breathe into length of the side body. Await the end of the soundscape. Lift your seat bones high. Let your shoulders roll towards each other, shoulder blades and chest towards the floor, but they lift into the shoulders, into the side of the arms and body. Look forward. Bend the knees and step or hop to land between the hands. Uttanasana, forward fold. Good. Bring the left hand in front of you, right arm high for a twist. Really push the left hand down though. Right leg gets long, left leg has a bend. Good. So really push the back of the right leg back. Open the shoulders together, arm reaches high. Exhale, change sides, left hand up, right hand down. Lean into the right hand, really spread that wide. And close. Inhale for a halfway lift. And reach the arms out to the side like big wings. If you don't have the space, you can also come into cactus. If you can, reach into the fingertips. Bring those little circles back we've done at the start. want you to do is hug your transverses in this big muscle. So the lower ribs draw in and the entire body gets long. Let the information flow from the base of the spine through the head. And then like you want to spread your wings and take off flying, come up standing. Good. Right hand along the right thigh, left arm over the head for side arch. And change sides, left hand down, right arm over the head. Steffi, you had to move indoors. And inhale, rise. Exhale, big wings again to the side and fold it forward. Long back, so bring a bend in the knees for this to happen. Caress the river around you. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins or the floor. Length, send the hips back, head forward. Plant the hands, right foot steps back for a Surya Namaskar C. So bring the right knee down. Inhale, rise. Low lunge. Good. Very good. Interlace the hands behind the back to open shoulders forward. And release. Bring the right hand down next to you towards the floor or block left arm high for a side open. So if you have a block, you can bring the block here. Inhale, open. Exhale, left hand down, right arm over the head. Soften the hips down. Exhale, frame the front foot, step it back, high plank. Good. Very nice. Bring the forearms down, same again. Palms can come together, or you can keep the arms apart, fingers spread wide. And this time we'll walk the feet in towards us for a dolphin so that the hips come high. And we aim for one line of information flow, hips, shoulders, elbows. You can bend the knees gently or generous to lengthen. Exhale, touch the the tip of the nose to your thumbs or the space between your thumbs. And inhale back up. Exhale, shift the weight forward, touch the nose down. And back up. One more, touch the nose. Inhale back. Good. And walk the feet back to come into full forearm plank. Now, if you don't have, bring the arms apart so the palms come flat. And we'll just bring knees, hips down for Sphinx pose. Good. Soften the chest through, shoulders roll together. Heaviness on your lower arms to lift you from there. Exhale, come all the way down. Tuck the hands right and left. Tuck the toes, push it up, downward dog. Good. Bring the right foot next to the right thumb. Second side, left knee down. Inhale to rise into our low lunge. Good. Exhale, interlace the hands behind. The other pinky finger on top. Shoulders roll forward and together. And give your arms a generous lift here. So they don't rest on your buttocks, but they lift away to give your shoulders that little workout. Good. And release. Bring the left hand down. Right arm over the head for a side opening. Block or no block. Yes. Soften the hips down. The more flexibility creates in your psoas, the easier this becomes. Rise. Exhale, right side. Good. Very nice. And release. Frame the front foot. Step the left foot to the right. And shake everything off. So you can really shake the whole shoulders, the whole body Everything in this forward fold. And inhale, halfway lift. Bring the arms back out to the side like big wings. Shoulders roll together, lift into the fingertips of each hand. So the fingertips are your guideposts here. Do the circles again. Take those, be those circles. Good. Change sides. And rise like big wings. Come up. Nice. Exhale, hands to heart. Tadasana. We'll flow again and we'll add poses. Rise. Exhale, arms out to the side. Caress the space. Fold it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the shins or the floor. Exhale, fold it in. Transverses, hugs you and floats you. Step the right foot back. Right knee down. Rise. Exhale, hands behind the back of you. Lift. Good. And we'll add something here. Tuck the back toes and lift the back knee away from the floor. And we'll river the weight forward. Spill it into a warrior three. Let the right leg float. Arms lift, leg lifts. The more lift you can create from your thigh into your hamstring and the back leg, the effortless it becomes. And slowly float it back. Good. Bring the right knee back down, and we'll bring both hands inside the front foot for a lizard pose. So you can come onto your forearms if that's possible. If not, you can stay on the hands. And then from here, see if you can lift the right knee away. Throw the left knee in towards you. A rounding in the shoulders, so push the space between the shoulder blades and push the right heel back. Very nice. And come back onto the hands. And we'll walk the hands to the long side edge of the mat and pivot the feet also, so we land in a skandasana here. Good. Hands on the floor in front or at your heart. Pull the feet towards each other like they're magnetizing. So they're heavy, but they draw in towards each other. Nice, Steffi. Yes. Long back. Beautiful. Very good. And in, we'll come to the back of the mat into a warrior two. So reach to the back of the mat, right arm forward. And bring both hands down inside the front foot. Come onto the lizard on the back side of the mat. Forearms down. Knee in towards your shoulders. Lift left knee away from the mat. Push the left heel back. Good. And come back onto the hands. Pivot both feet to the long edge of the mat. Skandasana on the right side. Hands on the floor or at your heart. Pull the feet together. And inhale, push, lift back out into a warrior two on the front side of the mat. So we're back, looking forward. Windmill both hands down in front of your left foot. River flow the weight into the left leg so the right foot rises for standing splits. Make sure both your hands are firmly on the floor. If not, bring blocks so that you can really transfer the weight into the hands. option for handstand hops. If you're working on handstand, the perfect moment to just bend your standing leg, hop it up. 1, 2, 3. Good. Very nice. And land the back foot. So we can come up into warrior 1. Front knee is bent, back leg is long. Good. Exhale, arms interlace. So left arm underneath the right. Lift the arms out. Both hips are drawing forward. Good. And exhale, dive into your humble warrior. Pulling the shoulder blades apart. Push the lower arms together. And then from here, plant the hands, spill out, step it back into your high plank. You can take a few undulations here. You can come into child's pose if you need to. Good. Let that river through you, the ending of that little flow. Good. And then come in your child's pose, bring the arms way forward, spread the fingers really wide. And then we'll flow forward into this on the knee, 3 push-up pose. So plank on your arms, on your hands, but on the knees. And we'll take 3 yogi push-ups. So arms hug into the upper body. Inhale, back up. Exhale, arms hugging the body. Only 90 degrees. Rise back up. Exhale, third one. Good. And then from here, we'll come onto the forearms again. Lift the back knees away, forearm plank. Good. And then we'll bring the right arm to float, left arm comes down for forearm side plank. So you can stack the feet. Right arm rises to the sky or cactus shape. Good. And change sides. Left arm high. Stacking the feet, lift the hips. So transversus is active again. Good. And bring it down. Knees down, hips down, arms open up for Sphinx pose. Soften the chest through, pull the hands back. Exhale, fold forward, tuck the hands, push it up, downward facing dog. Good. Soften the chest through, lift the humerus out of the shoulder socket. Pull heavy in feet and hand, flowing in your upper body. Right foot steps forward next to the right thumb. Left knee comes down for a second side. Rise. Low lunge. Exhale, hands interlace behind the back. Tuck the back toes, lift the left knee away. And reverse, spill the weight forward until the left foot starts to float. It's a very slow information-seeking movement. Good. Draw the left hip bone down towards the floor. Left arm, left leg high. Good. And soften the standing leg. Plant the left foot back down. Release the hands and bring them both inside the front foot for a lizard pose. Again, forearms down or hands, back knee float or lifted. Good. Draw the right knee in towards your right shoulder. If you push the palms together, the lift will transfer out into your shoulders and make this pose more graceful, more effortless. Good. Come onto the hands, pivot to the long side edge of the mat for Skandasana on the right side. Hands at heart or Nice. And inhale for warrior two towards the back side of your mat. Good. So left leg gets a bend. Yes. Sink into the back knee, into the left knee, and exhale. Windmill both hands down inside the front foot for lizard pose here. Forearms down. Left knee draws in. Right knee floats. Good. And come onto the hands back into our Skandasana. Sink the hips low, hands to heart. Push the palms together. Pull the feet together so they're magnetizing towards each other. And inhale into warrior two. Good. And windmill both hands in front of your right foot. Spill the weight forward until the left foot floats for standing splits. Good. Plant the hands. Maybe handstand hops if you like. So firmly flow the weight into your hands. Bend the standing leg a bit. Left leg floats. Good. Yes, brava. Very nice. Standing splits and just float it back from there. And spill it out into your plank. Yeah. Or child's pose, whatever has to happen. And good. Another round of dolphin pose. So bring forearms down in your all fours, palms together. Good. Tuck the toes and lift the hips up. Walk the feet in. Very nice. Pulling heavy through the palms into the floor and softening the river upward into your hips. Rise the right leg. Good. Yes. And bring the right leg back down. Change sides, left leg rises into line with elbows, shoulders, hips. Now the heel. Good. And bring it down. Good. Very good. Walk the feet back into forearm plank. And before we come into Sphinx, we'll dip the hips over to the left side and bring it back up. Dip the hips over to the right side. Transversus action. Bring them back up. Two more each side. Dip the hips almost to the mat. Right side. Last round. Good. And when you're done, you can soften knees down, hips down, open the arms forward. Sphinx pose. Good. And exhale, float it through. Push it back, downward dog or child's pose if you need. And we'll take 5 breaths here. Yes. Very nice. Good. See if from here you can spill the weight forward into a high plank. So letting the river ripple along your spine. Super high plank, meaning we push high through the upper body, upper back, and let the heels swing out to the left side. Then you notice this, we've done this a lot. Bend the knees so that your left foot plants firmly on the floor. Side plank version 2.0. Rise the right arm into the sky with your knees bent so that the left foot is firmly on the floor. And now if you lengthen the left leg, your hips will float and almost float the right leg on its own. But my angle here is bigger, yeah? Good. And one more breath. Exhale, come down into your high plank again. Push back, downward dog or child's pose to give your shoulders a break. Very good. Good. And let's go again. Lift the hips, downward dog. Good. And spill it forward. Ripple along the spine into a high plank. And shift, spin the heels out to the right side. Good. Bend the knees to shift the hips back. See how my hips float along the vertical axis. Back. So the right foot plants firmly and then left arm comes to the sky. Lengthen the right leg to just float the hips up. And your left leg will float almost on its own. But the right foot has to stay heavy and connected, pulling the weight there, and then your 5 fingertips on the floor. Good. And exhale, back into a high plank, back into downward dog or child's pose for a release. Good. Very good stuff, guys. Look forward between the hands. Come into downward dog if you're not. Bend the knees and step or hop. Left foot, right foot forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. You can hold on to the opposite elbows. Sway. Inhale for a halfway lift. Hands on the shins or on the floor. Bring the arms out. We'll skip the circles, but we'll rise, claiming all the space. Come up high. Good. Left arm down. Right arm opens to the side to open the ribs, the space, the intercostal muscles, they're called the ribs, the muscles between the ribs. Inhale, change sides. Right arm down, left arm. Heavy through the feet, stay connected, all 10 toes, all 3 edges. So 2 corners in the front, 1 in the back of your foot each. Good. And rise. Exhale, arms out to the side, and we'll just caress, we'll flow through our flow again, a bit faster, and adding a bit more. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the right foot back, right knee down. Inhale to rise, slow lunge. Exhale, arms circle back into an interlace. And this time you lift far away from your buttocks without hyperextending your elbows. So bring a little bend in the elbows. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. Lean, spill, flow it forward. 1 movement into warrior 3. See if you can bend the right knee and push the right foot into the ceiling, the footprint, your foot to the ceiling. Good, and lengthen the leg out, float it back. Release the hands and bring them inside the front foot for lizard pose. Good, forearms down. Very good. And inhale, back up. And we'll walk the hands over to the long side edge of the mat for Skandasana. Hands at the heart, left knee is bent, right leg is long. Good. Inhale for warrior 2 to the back side of your mat. Good. And this time in the warrior, bring your right arm inside your right leg. So you want to come into side plank. Good. but bring it even further down. So your right arm can reach around your right thigh towards your right hip, yes. Flip the left palm back to close the circle, meeting hands together. Use a strap or a sock or a towel to connect if it's not there. Good. Very nice. Roll the left shoulder back. And release the hands inside the front foot, taking the lizard pose here. Step it, float it down. Right knee in. Good. And come back onto your hands. We'll pivot on the outside edges of both feet. So hips open towards the right side. I'll show you guys like this, it's easier to see. And we'll let the left arm take the weight, and we'll step the right foot to the left foot for a side plank. Bend the knees to plant the left foot down again, like we've practiced before. Option to bring the right foot on the left thigh for tree pose. Yes, Chloe, beautiful. Reach the right hand to the right knee and just guide the right knee back forward into your lizard. Yes, and come straight into your Skandasana. Good. Inhale for warrior two on the left side. Back to the front of the mat. Good. Left arm down inside the left leg for the second side bind. So reach underneath the left leg. For the left hip, sorry. Flip the right palm back and close the circle. Yes. Very good. And release. Come back up into your warrior two. And windmill both hands forward for our standing splits. So just build the weight forward, right leg floats. Handstand hops if you like. Good. And then from there, we'll just drop the right foot back, frame the left foot high plank. We'll just flow the weight forward, knees, chest, chin down. Good. Inhale, hips down, and bring the forearm forward for our Sphinx pose. Soften the chest through. And exhale, bring it down. Tuck the toes, knees bend, bring it back up, downward dog for the second side. Right foot steps forward to bring left knee down. Inhale to rise, low lunge. Exhaling to lace the hands. Shoulders lift, tuck the back toes. Left knee floats, fill it forward. Warrior three. Very good. Yes, bend the left knee and imprint the left sole to the ceiling. So really lift the left thigh high. Ground through the heaviness of the right foot. Lengthen the left leg back out. Come back. Float the left foot back, release. And both hands inside the front foot. Lizard pose here. Draw the right knee in. Very good. And come back onto the hands to spin yourself into Skandasana. Good. Hands at the heart. Lengthen the legs and draw them towards each other. Or lengthen the left leg. Good. Yes. Inhale, warrior two, towards the back side of the mat. Good. Then bring the left arm inside. Second round of bind. Shoulder to knee. Wrap the left arm underneath the left leg. Right palm flips. Nice. Good stuff. And release into lizard pose. In this lizard pose, we'll flip the feet onto the outside edges and step the left foot back to the right, float the left arm. Good. Option to bend the knees. Actually, this is not optional. Do this. But option to bring the left foot on the inside of the right thigh. Yes. Lengthen the bottom leg, Danny. Push the right foot into the floor. Good stuff. Left hand to the left knee and guide the left knee forward. And come straight into your Skandasana. Left knee bent, right leg long, hands to heart. Good. And inhale, warrior two, towards the front of the mat. Exhale, right arm down. Bring it around the right side. Reach for the right hip. Left arm flips back. Close the circle. Good. And release. Come back up, warrior two. And exhale, windmill the hands forward. Spill the weight into standing splits last time. Very good. Handstand hops last time. Firmly ground all 10 fingertips. Float it. Good. And frame the front foot with both hands. Step it back, the left foot, and back into your plank. Knees down. And child's pose. Good. Let the heaviness take over again. Let it pull around your weight to embrace the power of your weight. Often we fight that. That surrendering to your own heaviness and the rivering of your own fluids is a way to connect to a movement within that is more the being of a movement rather than doing. From here you can spill back forward into an all fours. Exactly. Let it river through you in your own time. My cues are always a bit ahead of you, so you can take your time. Lift the left arm when you're ready. So spill it to the sky, opening your body. Left side, right arm pulls, right fingertip pull. And exhale, thread the left arm underneath the right to soften the left side of your body, of your face down. Make sure that the hips stay in place so they don't shift off to the right side. Option to reach the right arm around the lower back, to reach for the left side, left hip. For a nice stretch on your shoulders, between your shoulder blades. Good. Option to lengthen the right leg out. So to walk it a bit out to the side and give it length to deepen the twist. Very nice. And then spill out from this, soften everything back out, back into place, piece by piece, until you're back into an old forest. Take a few big circles with your entire body around your feet and knees, or hands and knees, so that your entire body circles. Shifting the heaviness into hands and knees, fingertips, top of the feet, and then closing the circles, come back into the stillness of the middle, madhya. Right arm floats to the sky, reach it, open it up. Exhale, thread it underneath. Keep the hips where they are, so don't let them spill over. To keep the torsion, reach the right arm far, far. And then option wrapping left arm underneath or beneath the lower back. Roll the left shoulder back. Option to lengthen the left leg out. Good. Very nice. And spill out from it. Left hand back down, left knee back in. Bring the right arm back. Maybe it opens again. And exhale, close back into old force. Good. Tuck the toes. And we'll come up to rise. We'll close the standing sequence with a little back bend. So we'll bring the hands to the ribs here, lengthen it out. So you can literally physically pull yourself long. Lift the sternum high, and then let the arms float. Bring them over the head. Good. We do this to create the length. Bring the right arm back to the right heel. Toes are tucked, so the right heel is closer. If you know that your range of motion is here, you can also bring that foot down. Yeah. If you know this is too far, you can bring a block next to the foot and use the block for this. Good. Camel pose, meaning we have two polar opposites. The hips shift forward, the head, the crown of the head shifts back. And drop the left arm also to the left heel. Now, super important to shift those hips forward and lift the chest into the sky. Soften the glutes and the lower back. Very good. One more breath. And then softly come out. Left arm lifts again. Soften the right arm also. Up and then sit back onto the heels. Keep the toes tucked. Good. And we'll bring the arms down. Crown of the head, so the top of your head comes super close to your knees. So you bring the head in close to your knees. Reach the hands for your heels. And all you have to do now is shift the hips to lean weight forward into the crown of your head. And let the arms get long so you can really lean into your arms. This gives your lower back, your arms, your shoulders a nice elongation. The closer the head is to the knees, the more intense this gets and the more you get out of it. But if it's too much, just inch the head a bit further away from the knees and really shift the hips forward and up so the arms get long. You're leaning into your arms. Good. And then softly release. Coming straight into a child's pose. From here, top of the feet come down. And then in your own time, make your way into a seat. So coming with the hips past the heels. No rush to get there. coming to one last forward fold. Move the flesh away from your seat bones. Bring a little bend in the knees to ease the way down. Good. Hands next to your hips to lift the sternum forward. And from there, think forward, not down. So the heart, the chest wants to go forward. Pull heavy through the hips to meet the lower ribs to your thighs. Good. And when you're there, you can release the arms, bring them forward, gluing your belly down. Soften the neck. And if the heels can inch out further towards a full length in the back of the legs, you can do that. Good. Soften, lengthen the lower back. Good. Okay. And inhale to unfurl. Come back up. Bend the knees, hands behind your hips to windshield wiper them right and left. Good. And then making your way down to the mat, coiling the spine, softening it all down. Take your time to get there. And together we'll come into a shoulder stand, an inversion to close the class. So bring the legs up to the sky. And if you're uncomfortable with shoulder stand, that is perfectly fine to not do it. Okay, it is a pose that has some risks, or can have if we don't do it properly. But anyhow, if you don't feel comfortable, stay here. Or you can bring the hands behind your hips to lift softly to support your buttocks, your hips with your hands. The closer your elbows come together, the better. Now it's important that your weight rests on your upper arms and shoulders and not on your neck. Avoid looking right and left. Just look in towards your navel. Option to take it into plow pose, halasana, or stay here. Plow pose, feet come behind the head towards the floor. In plow pose, you can keep the hands on the hips or you can release them down, fingertips helping you. Good. And if you're ready, come back into shoulder stand. If you're in shoulder stand, start to unwind softly. So bring the hands down to soften the way down, unwinding the spine back onto the mat. Yogi's choice for any last pose here. Twist, bridge pose. Just windshield wipe, bring your legs into a deeper version of the windshield so that you get a little twist, whatever it is. Yes, beautiful. Be your own river, following your own path. It sounds so corny, but it's very true. That your body knows very precisely what you need. And when you're ready, let your limbs get long and heavy. Entering a full Shavasana. drawing your awareness again to the pooling where your bones get heavy, where they align in their most natural way now that you release muscles away from the bones, like softening flower petals away from the center point, giving the bones their space to breathe, to pass on information. If you want to stay longer in the Shavasana, you can. If you're ready to come out, you can bring the smallest of ripples from bones to muscles to express into movement, to wiggle feet and hands. Bring the knees into the chest, and in your time, come back to a seat. Bring your hands to your heart and just speak your grace and gratitude for the teachings of yoga we get to share. Pull heavy through the hips one last time to connect, ground. Bring the hands to the forehead and bow for a prayer of peace. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om shanti shanti shanti. May all be